Welcome to the Explainer. So, think about the last time you were behind the wheel. Did you feel totally, 100% in control? The truth is, the road is full of surprises. Today, we're going way beyond the driver's ed basics. We're going to break down the skills that make smart reactions become second nature. Let's get into it.
So let me ask you this. Are you really ready for the unexpected? You know, that sudden downpour out of nowhere, that hidden patch of black ice, or that curve that's just a little bit sharper than it looks. See, safe driving isn't just about knowing the speed limit. It's about mastering the moment.
In this explainer, we're going to build what I like to call a pyramid of preparedness. We'll start at the bottom with the absolute foundation, mastering the fundamentals. From there, we'll climb up to dealing with wet roads, then tackle the really tough stuff with extreme winter conditions. And finally, we'll get to the peak, those unseen dangers you might not even think about.
All right, first up, the absolute basics. These are the skills that need to be completely automatic, you know? They're the foundation of control and visibility that you build on before things get messy.
Let's kick things off with night driving. There's one golden rule here. Never, ever outdrive your headlights. What does that mean? It means you have to be able to stop your car inside the beam of light you can see ahead of you. The other things are super simple but so important. Dim your lights for other drivers, and for goodness sake, keep them clean. It's basic stuff, but it's absolutely crucial.
Next, let's talk about curves. Here's a mistake I see people make all the time. The secret to a perfect turn is to get all your braking done before you even start to steer. Slow the car down, ease into the curve, and then, this is key, gently accelerate through it. That little bit of acceleration actually helps stabilize the car. If you hit the brakes mid-turn, you're just asking to lose control.
Okay, so our foundation is solid. Let's move up to the next level of our pyramid, water. The second the road gets wet, the entire game changes. We're talking rain, we're talking skids, and we are definitely talking about a major loss of grip.
But before we get into all that, quick question for you. When do you think is the absolute most dangerous moment to be driving in the rain? Is it during a huge downpour? Maybe an hour into the storm? What do you think?
The answer is the very moment it starts. So why is that? Well, think about all the oil, dust, and general grime that builds up on a dry road. That first bit of rain mixes with all of it, creating this incredibly slick, greasy film before it has a chance to wash away. That initial moment is when the road is at its absolute slipperiest. And this really gets to the heart of why rain is so dangerous. On a dry road, things are great. You've got grip, you can see. The moment it gets wet, you lose both. Your tires have less traction, and your visibility goes way down. It's a 1-2 punch against your safety.
Now, I want you to burn this number into your brain. It's one of the most important things to remember about driving in the rain. 2 times.
And that's right. When it rains, your braking distance literally doubles. The space you need to come to a full stop is twice as long as it is on a dry road. This is exactly why you have to increase your following distance. That extra space isn't a suggestion. It's the buffer that can save you from a collision.
Now, this loss of traction can lead to one of the most frightening experiences a driver can have, a skid. That's when your tires just give up and the car starts sliding where you don't want it to go. But here's the critical thing. How you fix it depends completely on which of your wheels are doing the skidding.
So, let's start with a front wheel skid. You might hear this called understeer. It's that horrible feeling where you turn the steering wheel, but the car just keeps plowing straight ahead. Your instinct is going to scream, "Slam the brakes." Don't do it. The solution is 2 steps. First, get your feet off the pedals completely. No gas, no brake. Second, turn the steering wheel in the opposite direction of the skid. That helps the front tires bite into the road and find their grip again.
Now, a rear wheel skid or oversteer is the opposite problem. This is when the back of your car starts to swing out and tries to pass the front, like in an action movie. Step 1 is exactly the same, feet off the pedals. But here's the massive difference. You need to steer into the skid. So if the back of the car is sliding out to the right, you steer to the right. It feels totally wrong, I know, but it's the only way to get the car to straighten itself out.
Okay, let's take a deep breath. Because now we're climbing to the very top of our pyramid. Extreme winter conditions. This is where the risks don't just add up, they multiply. We're talking snow, ice, and the really disorienting danger of dense fog.
So, remember how rain doubled your braking distance? Well, get ready for this. Look at the difference with ice. It's not 3 times longer, it's not even 5. On ice, your braking distance increases by a factor of 10. Let that sink in. 10 times longer to stop. So with that terrifying number in mind, your whole approach has to change.
Your speed needs to drop, and I mean drop dramatically. If you have chains, use them. Here's a pro tip. Try to drive in the tracks left by the cars in front of you. The snow is already compressed there, giving you a little more grip. And using a higher gear to get going can help stop your wheels from spinning out.
And then there's fog. Fog is terrifying because it leads to those massive pileups. Why? Because our instinct is to lock our eyes onto the tail lights of the car in front of us. That is a fatal mistake. If they stop suddenly, you have zero time to react. The right way to do it is to use the painted lines on the road as your guide. They are a constant, reliable reference that won't slam on the brakes.
All right, for our last section, let's talk about the dangers you can't always see. These are the environmental forces like heat, wind, and even the sun that mess with both you and your car in ways you might not expect.
Think about driving on a really hot summer day. It's not just uncomfortable, it's a real safety problem. As you can see here, the heat actually makes you more tired, it slows down your reaction time, and get this, it can even make you a more aggressive driver. So that feeling of road rage on a sweltering day, yeah, that's not just in your head, it's a real physical response.
Wind is another one of these invisible threats. A strong side wind is most dangerous right when you're passing a big truck. You're protected, and then suddenly you're hit with a huge blast. The shield effect is similar. Imagine a truck blocking the wind at an intersection. The moment you pass it, bam, you're hit by that gust. And of course, wide open spaces are where wind can be the most unpredictable. And this is why you have to be extra careful around motorcycles and scooters on a windy day. A gust of wind that you barely even feel in your car can be enough to push a bike several feet to the side. You have to anticipate that and just give them way more space than you think they need.
So what does all this boil down to? It's not about memorizing 100 different rules for 100 different situations. It's about changing your mindset. It's about becoming a proactive driver. No matter what the weather is doing, it comes down to these three things. Adapt your speed, multiply your following distance, and always try to anticipate the unseen.
So we've covered the basics, the hazards, and the techniques to counter them. The knowledge is officially yours now. So the only question left is, when it really counts, will you use it?